Nobody anticipated this moment, but after hearing the specifics, you'll see that the warning flags were present from the beginning. The WNBA's self-described face of the new era, Angel Reese, is currently embroiled in a full-blown locker room scandal. What's even more shocking? Not only are teammates now discreetly avoiding her, but Chicago Sky coaches have allegedly betrayed her in private. According to leaked accounts, intense sideline disputes, private meetings, and mounting annoyance with her off-court distractions have culminated in a full-blown tension that is now unavoidable. According to reports, a power struggle is breaking out within the crew behind the Reebok campaigns, the ostentatious attire, and the social media attention. Additionally, ego, attitude, and who is truly in command are more important than talent. The coaches allegedly refused to defend her public behavior. There were emotional breakdowns during film sessions, and there were even hints that some game-time decisions were designed to send her a message, according to insiders. On camera, the crew may still be grinning, but behind the scenes, anarchy reigns. This is the kind of story that has the power to make or break a career, so it's not just drama. And it all begins with an unexpected betrayal. Let's dissect it. The Chicago Sky's 2024 season appeared to be a potential comeback tale from the outside. The WNBA was finally receiving the mainstream media coverage it had long sought. The roster was full of up-and-coming talent, and Reebok had recently signed Angel Reese to a significant endorsement deal. It appeared as though everything was coming together for a brief period. The most divisive personality in women's basketball, Angel Reese, was in the center of it all. Reese entered the WNBA with enormous expectations, even more scrutiny after making headlines during her time at LSU and bringing that same fervor with her. Fans wanted someone they could love or loathe, the media wanted controversy, and the league wanted flair. Angel gave it all to them. However, the rumors grew more frequent as the season went on. Angel was making appearances on podcasts, magazine covers, and red carpets while Caitlin Clark was quietly letting her game speak in Indiana. Her Reebok ad, "Walk in your trap, take over your trap," which was shown on billboards, served as both a point of power and a target for criticism. Furthermore, the posters were generating divisions among coaches and teammates in the Sky locker room in addition to creating a commotion on social media. Rumors began to circulate that certain coaching staff members weren't with Reese's continual attention. It's one thing for a rookie to represent the team. Is a rookie influencing the pace in huddles, dominating the energy in the locker room, and defying coaching directives? That is a completely different matter. Reese was being treated like a celebrity, not a teammate, according to former players close to the team. While important veterans reportedly felt degraded by how frequently the offense focused on her, even though her on-court performance didn't always support it. Angel stressed leadership and personal branding in a post-game interview. Despite recording 9 turnovers and 2 assists in one now famous game, several team insiders claim that the coaching staff met behind closed doors without her following that game. In that room, what was said? No one is certain. However, the subsequent events have been hard to overlook. Subtle adjustments to the lineup, rotating in different directions. Reese was left standing without input during timeouts. Body language is possibly the most informative of all. Coaches avoid looking at you. Bench reactions that are silent. Even gave truncated responses when questioned about her during press briefings. Angel Reese kept promoting her brand online and sharing self-assured selfies. However, behind that, there was a silent breakdown in the team chemistry. Speaking anonymously, one assistant coach reportedly stated, "We're here to win games, not build a fashion empire." Another team insider reported that the coaching staff was experiencing growing exhaustion. "She wants to be a mogul. She must play basketball for us." The more significant issue, Angel is not the only one. The heat is radiating throughout the locker room. After the All-Star break, Reese allegedly skipped a voluntary team practice to attend a high-profile event in Los Angeles, escalating tensions between the players and the coaching staff. Although she was not fined by the squad, several sources claim the incident was the last straw for at least one coach. The tension is no longer behind the scenes, though, as the Sky's decline in the standings and the tense post-game news conferences get more frequent every week. You can see it. It's open to the public. Additionally, it is beginning to impact the court's product. Is no longer merely a tale of rookie growing pains. With its star player and coaching staff seemingly going in different directions, this is a franchise in turmoil. And the first actual twist. It's just getting started. Early in July, During a normal exercise, everything came to a head. This time, it wasn't behind closed doors, and what started out as a routine walkthrough swiftly turned into one of the most anxious moments of the Sky's season. Players were rolling even though the cameras weren't. And eventually, what they recorded on their phones would be leaked to a private group conversation, which was subsequently made public. An argument breaks out between Angel Reese and a Sky assistant coach in the video, during which the coach is heard saying, "You're not above the system. Operate the set like we intended." Reese responds with equal vigor, "We wouldn't be getting blown out every week if the system worked." The gym becomes quiet. Players turn their heads away. Coaches become motionless. Immediately, the tone changes from one of competition to one of conflict. Clips of the altercation appear on social media within a day. And admirers, they go nuclear. Some jump to Angel's defense. One tweet reads, "She's the only one fighting for this team." Others support the coaching staff, saying they don't know how to use her. One user comments, "She's out of control. I can't even follow directions without losing my temper." This isn't LSU, however. That moment signaled a noticeable change behind the scenes. A team insider claims that the assistant coach in that widely shared video was instructed to step back from talking to Angel during games. The coaching staff started delegating tasks, with one team overseeing general rotations and another discreetly assigned to handle Reese. The following blow followed after committing her 6th turnover. Reese was benched halfway through the 3rd quarter of a tense game against the Connecticut Sun. She left without anyone speaking to her. No hugs, no kudos for it. She was obviously angry as she sat by herself at the end of the bench and chewed on her mouthguard. Teresa Weatherspoon, the head coach of Sky, responded ambiguously to a question regarding the benching after the game. "We're making adjustments," but Angel didn't take it lightly. "It's about the team, not the individual." Hours later, she shared a mysterious Instagram story with a black screen and the following single sentence, "You guys will miss me when I'm not around." Immediately, fans conjectured that it was aimed at the coaching staff. Reese's representative promptly refuted the allegations that she had asked for a move, but others even started spreading them. Nevertheless, there was no denying the team's energy. A cold war was raging, and both sides were playing hardball. The front office attempted to act as a mediator, but the damage was already done after Reese's agent apparently became personally involved, calling the team about unfair media treatment and implying that the staff wasn't protecting their star asset. The confidence lost, the atmosphere poisonous. What about the changing area? Now divided totally. Reese is said to have the backing of one group, primarily the younger players and recent additions who view her as a trailblazer. The coaching staff, who are primarily veterans who are sick of the mayhem and seek order, are the target of the opposing camp. And in the midst of everything, a disjointed squad that is dropping in the rankings, losing chemistry, and letting the drama out at every turn. Only a few days after the benching, there is the first significant twist. Angel Reese unfollows to assistant coaches on Instagram in yet another startling development. While this may seem like a small gesture to others, it has profound symbolic meaning for those who are paying attention. Although it's public, it's quiet, and that says more than words in the league today. The bomb is then dropped. A reporter is informed by an unnamed source inside the company that a staff change is coming soon, or someone on the bench, but one of them is leaving. Now, the question, is this still reversible, or is a complete collapse of Chicago imminent? Not only did the drama occur behind the scenes, but it also spilled straight onto the court, into team meetings, and eventually onto national television. Tension in the locker room had escalated into a full-fledged crisis and was set to blow up on live television. The Sky were expected to put up a strong comeback in their upcoming match. They had cameras rolling, analysts were keeping a tight eye on everything. But everyone was startled by what transpired. Angel Reese is taken off the court early in the 2nd quarter after the other team's easy layup was the result of a defensive misunderstanding. She turns to the sideline, however, and addresses head coach Teresa Weatherspoon directly rather than making her way to the bench. Online lip readers swiftly recognize the phrase, even though the microphone doesn't capture the entire sentence. Then coach it more effectively. Social media takes off. Videos go viral in a matter of minutes. One post on a sports page, "Has Angel Reese lost the locker room after snapping at coach on national TV?" However, what transpired in the tunnel during halftime was not visible to the crowd. An assistant coach addressed Reese in the corridor and told her bluntly, "You're becoming a distraction," according to an exclusive leak from a team source. Reese did not yell back, according to witnesses, refusing to rejoin the team huddle until the last 2 minutes of halftime. She simply shook her head and left. Then the actual bombshell was dropped. That evening, a local journalist received an anonymous leaked internal report that was only meant for front office eyes. It had player performance evaluations. And 2 words caught my attention under Angel Reese's name: difficult to coach, emotionally reactive. When she runs the offense, team dynamics suffer. The author of the remarks was not identified in the study. Fans, however, had theories. What about Reese's camp? They were furious. Her agent swiftly released a statement denouncing the leak and charging the Chicago Sky with damaging the reputation of athlete. Things worsened. Another assistant coach was discreetly moved a few days later. Insiders said it was retaliation for the locker room split, even though the team described it as a rotational shift in responsibilities. According to reports, this specific assistant had publicly criticized Reese's demeanor at team meetings, and Angel was not amenable. According to reports, she threatened to take it up the chain if the team didn't intervene. It appears that they did. The front office was now stuck though. You had an up-and-coming rookie star with unparalleled commercial appeal and social influence, but is in the midst of internal turmoil. The coaching staff, reportedly frustrated, and possession, fearful of a PR catastrophe. Then came the unexpected turn of events. Coach Weatherspoon called an emergency team meeting. However, this was no ordinary sit-down. Cell phones were seized. Cameras are blocked. No media. No employees, not on the core roster. This terrifying detail was shared by one player. "This is your last chance to fix this, or I'm burning it all down," she continued, staring us in the eyes. Reports surfaced that same day that Angel Reese did not show up for a community event that the team's public relations staff had planned. No justification. Don't apologize. Only a quiet protest. There were rumors that it was a reaction to the report that was released. She was simply done playing nice, according to others. However, the harm had already been done. It smelled like a scandal in the media. TMZ, ESPN, and Bleacher Report all published speculative articles questioning if Angel Reese was indeed The only question left is this: how long until the entire franchise gets blown up by this ticking time bomb? Because the Chicago Sky isn't simply losing games, as seen from the outside. They're becoming unmanageable. Neither the league nor the internet held back. The WNBA fanbase split into 2 loud, sharply divided factions as soon as the halftime video of Angel Reese mouthing off to her coach appeared on social media. One side, Team Angel, who defends her competition and enthusiasm, while accusing the coaching staff of attempting to dim her light. The other side, a flood of supporters, reporters, and even former athletes criticized her actions for what they saw as their true nature: self-destructive and disrespectful. One well-known commentator wrote, "She wants to lead a team but refuses to be led. Star power isn't that. That is cancer of the locker room." Stephen A. Smith, meanwhile, didn't hold back when speaking on ESPN's First Take. "Let me state unequivocally that despite Angel Reese's extraordinary skill, you cannot succeed in this league if you are unable to accept instruction. Forever." One of Reese's most outspoken fans since her time at LSU, Shaquille O'Neal, attempted to defuse the situation. He provided a more nuanced perspective on his podcast. "Hey, I've been in locker rooms with a lot of emotion. Despite her youth, Angel is learning. She should no longer be crucified by the media each time she displays fire. She became a champion because of that same fire." But the opinions weren't limited to analysts. Participants began to subtweet. A mysterious post was made by Kelsey Plum. While some came to trend, others came to hoop. It was quickly interpreted by fans as a barb against Reese. Skylar Diggins-Smith, a WNBA veteran, was unable to remain silent. On her Instagram story, she shared, "Have respect for your coaches. Complete halt. No justification." The office of the league said to be unimpressed. Insiders claim that the WNBA has already been in touch with the Chicago Sky to monitor the situation and make sure that team culture isn't declining. Although they haven't made an official declaration, there is worry behind closed doors. Sponsors are also anxious. There are rumors that other sponsors are holding off on expansion talks until the season settles in. Even though Angel's Reebok deal is still in place, an unnamed executive was cited as stating, "We're supporting a brand, not a story. Once rallying behind Reese's confidence, even casual admirers now appear uncertain. It was best summed up in one widely shared comment. When she was winning, we admired her attitude. Now, though it just sounds like noise, the tide is shifting. And quickly, the genuine bombshell in it didn't come from a reporter or a teammate drop. Just when it seemed like the commotion around Angel Reese couldn't grow much louder, it originated among the coaching staff. An anonymous tweet purportedly from someone within the Chicago Sky group started making the rounds on X, previously Twitter, late last night. Although it wasn't required, the post didn't mention names. It was a chillingly obvious message. Basketball is no longer the topic of this. We made every effort. Film analysis, team meetings, and even bringing in a mentor are all examples. However, the locker room eventually breaks down when a player refuses to listen, doesn't change, and begins blaming everyone but themselves. The internet took off. Within an hour, the hashtag Reese revolt began to gain popularity. Then followed the unexpected turn of events. Teresa Weatherspoon, the head coach of the Chicago Sky, unfollowed Angel Reese on Instagram. Fans saw it right away. It was taken up by blogs. Screenshots were everywhere in a matter of minutes. No explanation, no public statement, just a silent, digital message that made a big impression. The following morning, according to insiders, a team-wide emergency meeting was called. Reese reportedly showed up late and sat quietly the whole time, refusing to interact. According to one assistant, a friend was told, "A wall is being coached by us. We can't hear her." Instead of listening to the team, she is listening to the audience, her brand, and her podcast. However, this is where things become much more dire. According to one insider, more and more players are now requesting that the front office intervene. Rather than merely mediate, there is a push to take action. A disciplinary measure. Even the word suspension is being floated by some, and as rumors of a trade deadline intensify, more than just whether Angel Reese will make it through this season in Chicago is the most pressing question. The question is whether she will even make it in the current WNBA culture. Because what began as a surge motivated by rivalry swiftly descended into a locker room uprising. And now even the coaching staff has left. Will Reese be benched soon? Behind the scenes, is a deal already being discussed? And more significantly, was the bridge she was standing on already torched by Angel Reese? Angel Reese is having more than a rough week. Months of mounting stress, media clamor, murmurs in the locker room, and now a complete coaching collapse have culminated in this. The events we are witnessing now involve more than just basketball. It has to do with culture, command, identity, and whether one of the most divisive rising talents in the game can maintain her composure before losing it all. The problem is that you have been observing this build. The indicators were visible to you. The outbursts of emotion, the barely disguised criticisms of podcasts, the silent criticism from teammates on the sidelines. And it's no longer conjecture today that the coaching staff is retreating. It is verified. What comes next is the question today. Will the franchise ultimately hold Angel Reese accountable? Will benching their biggest brand name put the Chicago Sky front management at risk of offending fans? Or will they give in to the pressure and ignore it, preserve the story? We would want to speak with you. Do you believe that the issue in Chicago is Angel Reese? Does the coaching staff have the right to put some distance between them? Before it's too late, should the Sky trade her or suspend her? Don't hesitate to share your opinions in the comments section. Click the subscribe button immediately if you have been following the mayhem this season. Because the drama is far from over. We'll be breaking down all of the cryptic tweets, trade deadline maneuvers, and locker room leaks that are still coming up to ensure you don't miss the next significant development in this crazy WNBA story. Turn on alerts. Because if the stress in the locker room is what's spilling,